The life of Alfred Nobel. Once upon a time, in the city of Stockholm, Sweden, a baby boy named Alfred Nobel was born on October 21, 1833. Alfred was born into a large family and had 3 brothers, Robert, Ludwig, and Emil. His father, Emanuel, was an inventor who loved to make new things to help people. But being an inventor wasn't easy. Sometimes his ideas didn't work, and the family didn't have much money. Even though life was hard, Alfred's parents, Emanuel and Andriette, wanted their children to learn as much as they could. When Alfred was still a little boy, his father's business in Stockholm was struggling, so his family moved to Russia to try to make a better life. Emanuel found work in St. Petersburg, making things for the Russian army. He invented machines and tools to help with building and protecting the country. Soon, he was able to support his family again, and he even started his own business. With this new life, Alfred and his brothers could go to school and learn many new things. Alfred loved school, especially science, languages, and reading. Alfred was a very curious and bright child. He learned to speak 5 different languages: Swedish, Russian, French, English, and German. By the time he was a teenager, he was already reading and studying all kinds of books. Alfred loved chemistry the most. He was fascinated by how different substances could be combined to create something new. When Alfred was 18, his father sent him on a trip around Europe and America to study with famous scientists and engineers. Alfred was excited and grateful. He visited Paris, France, where he met a scientist named Ascanio Sobrero. Sobrero had discovered a substance called nitroglycerin. Nitroglycerin was a powerful explosive liquid, but it was very dangerous because it could explode with even a small bump or shake. Alfred was very interested in how this new explosive could be useful. However, he knew it would need to be much safer before people could use it. In the years that followed, Alfred studied hard and worked with his father to experiment with nitroglycerin. They wanted to make it safer to use. But one day, something terrible happened. While they were working, there was an explosion, and Alfred's youngest brother, Emil, was killed along with several other people. Alfred was very sad and felt a great deal of sorrow and guilt. But he was also determined. He wanted to find a way to make nitroglycerin safe so no one else would get hurt. Alfred continued his work and eventually discovered a way to make nitroglycerin safer. He combined it with a kind of soft, sandy material called diatomaceous earth. This new mixture was much more stable and would only explode when someone wanted it to. Alfred called his invention dynamite. Now, people could use dynamite safely for big construction projects like building roads, tunnels, and bridges. Dynamite made it easier to dig through rock and mountains, and soon people all over the world were using it. Alfred became famous for his invention, and he earned a lot of money from dynamite. He set up factories to make dynamite in different countries. While Alfred was proud of his invention, he was also sad because some people used it for harmful things, like in wars. Alfred had hoped dynamite would only be used for peaceful projects to help build a better world. As Alfred grew older, he became very wealthy and continued inventing. In his lifetime, he invented over 300 different things. But Alfred was a quiet, thoughtful man. He never married or had children, and he spent much of his time alone, reading and thinking. Alfred also loved to write poetry and was interested in philosophy. He often thought about big questions like, how can I help make the world a better place? One day, Alfred had a big shock. A newspaper made a mistake and published an article about his death, even though he was still alive. The headline read, "The Merchant of Death is Dead." The article said that Alfred Nobel had made his fortune by creating dangerous explosives, and it painted him as someone who didn't care about people's lives. Alfred was very upset by this. He didn't want people to remember him as someone who caused harm. He wanted to be remembered as someone who helped people and made the world a better place. That moment changed Alfred's life. He thought deeply about how he could leave a good legacy. Alfred decided he wanted to use his fortune to encourage people to work for peace and to make the world a better place. He wrote a special document called a will, which is a letter that explains what should happen to someone's money and belongings after they pass away. In his will, Alfred said he wanted his money to be used to create prizes for people who did great things. These prizes would reward people who helped the world through science, literature, and especially peace. Alfred hoped these prizes would inspire people to do good and work together for a better future. He called these awards the Nobel Prizes. When Alfred Nobel passed away on December 10, 1896, his will was put into action. People were surprised, and some were confused. Why would Alfred leave so much of his fortune for prizes? But soon, they understood his wish. Alfred's money was used to create the Nobel Prizes, and these prizes were given to people who worked to make the world better. Today, the Nobel Prizes are famous around the world. They are awarded every year in different fields: physics, chemistry, medicine, literature, peace, and economic sciences. People who receive these prizes are called Nobel laureates, and they are honored for their amazing work. The Nobel Peace Prize, which Alfred cared about the most, is given to someone who has worked to bring peace to the world. Because of Alfred Nobel's dream, people remember him not as the Merchant of Death but as a person who wanted to help others and inspire goodness. Through his prizes, Alfred Nobel's wish for a better world lives on, and people continue to celebrate his life as a story of hope and kindness.